Call the meeting to order at 6:38.
Okay.
No appointment of alternates.
Do you need me to read the public hearing?
Yes, and wait a minute, I'll call the public hearing to order, and Earl, please read the
Okay.
public.
A meeting this evening for a public hearing for the Dawsons for 582 Route 169 concerning fencing, grading, tree work, and sheds.
All right. Now, Katrina, the way the public hearing works is it's got a lot of steps.
Okay.
So that reading the legal notice is step one. Step two is that we ask you to describe your project, tell us about it, and then we'll ask questions, sometimes interrupting, but mostly, wait until you've finished, ask for clarifications, ask questions. I've got your drawings so I can pull them up and share my screen. So we'll be able to reference your drawings when you're talking about specifics. Then we go back and forth with any questions we have and your responses. And then there's no public, but in case somebody comes from the public, we provide the opportunity for public comment. And then it's back to us with any final questions and you with any final follow-up. I'm not sure, Toby, the cat counts as public or not.
She's a
You
bit
can ask
shy,
as
so
many
probably no.
Yes.
I'm happy to answer cat questions, but only in English.
Yes. The cat made certain comments about the dogs issue, so you never know.
Right.
So then once questions have been satisfactorily answered, then we make a motion, the commission makes a motion to close the public hearing and we close it, and then you stay on. Within the commission, we discuss it and then decide what action we will take. Then the options are approve, deny, or postpone decision until next month. So those are the three options, and we will, something will get proposed. We'll deliberate some more and make the decision for tonight's public hearing.
Okay.
And those are the steps involved.
Thank you for the lovely pictures. They really help a lot.
Well, thank you. My pleasure. This is my first application in front of a historic district commission. So please forgive me if I forgot anything, or it's probably the first of many since we intend to rehab the outbuildings, and that would require your certificate of appropriateness also.
Mhm.
So looking forward to collaborative work together. So this proposed, excuse me.
I was going to say that's wonderful to hear, and I want to echo what Toby said is that the completeness of your application is notable, and it's a really great way to start. So thank you very much. All right, so go ahead and tell us what you plan to do.
So there are two pastures to the west of the property. One of them is in back of Roseland Cottage, and the other one is right in back of the house. And those two pastures have stone walls around them, and they're separated by a stone wall. So what we are planning to do is we're planning to put a horse fence 16 feet from the stone wall. We have checked with the zoning and the building department, and they say we do not need permits because they are less than 7 foot tall. And there is no zoning requirement that the fences be a certain offset from the property line. We are offsetting them because it's important to leave the bridle path around the pastures Our horses tend to just be pasture horses, but sometimes people want to ride around the pastures or go from one place to another. So we want to build them, horse people way. We're splitting each one of the pastures in two because two of our horses are draft horses and two of the horses are just regular horses. I should probably know what they are, but I don't. And they have to kind of be separated. So we're going to put a fence in the middle of each pasture also. The fence is going to be a 4-rail fence, painted black. It will have round poles that are 6 inches round. The picture we gave you has square poles, but you can barely tell the difference between square and round poles when you put up a horse fence. The part of the pasture is not going to have any no climb fence on it. So let me talk about finish the pastures. Also in the pastures, we're going to put running sheds for the horses. The horses are not used to, and these are the 2 running sheds we have, which we're considering bringing up with us if we don't have any highway transportation issues because they're 12 feet wide. If we do have highway transportation issues, we would buy exactly the same thing and we would paint them either gray or the dark black that you normally get, the old style, when you put, what is it, the tar? What is creosote on the walls, what they used to do in the 1800s with a creosote, or maybe early 1900. So there would be one of these in each pasture because 2 horses can stay in one of them. So there would be a total of 4 of them. We do need a zoning permit for that, and I spoke to the zoning officer, and they would be, this would be a 16-foot one, which means instead of being 12 by 12, it would be 16 by 10 or 16 by 12. So not much bigger than the regular one, and it would be painted. They'll all be painted the same color. We hate unpainted wood. Chances are, however, we might not get around, if we get new ones, we might not get around to painting them until the spring because winter. So we would put them all the way to the west, to the kind of west line of the property, 20 feet away from the property line, so we don't have any zoning issues. Although the way I read the zoning ordinance, I could argue that these are, buildings that are not on footings, they are for agricultural use, so the zoning ordinance doesn't apply to them. But I don't care if it's 16 foot or it's 20 foot, we probably should leave a little bit between the fence and the building anyway. I checked with the Connecticut Health Department and they are exempt from a B100A health permit, so I do not have to get one of those. And I got an email confirming that they are exempt, so I can show it to John in the zoning office, so he doesn't have to worry about that. So that's what we're doing with the back pastures. In the front, we want to do an enclosure for the dogs. And there is a door coming out of the woodshed, which is attached in the back of the house. It's that part to the north that looks like an L, but it's really the woodshed. So we pretty much need to put the dog fence over there. We're worried we have a 16-and-a-half-year-old. She's not going anywhere, but we also have a 6-year-old hound. And we're not sure that an electric fence is going to hold him, especially we live in Virginia somewhere where we maybe see 3 cars a day, maybe 4 cars a day, and he barks at them.
Oh boy.
Route 169 is not that, right? So in part because of that, we're doing that fence. We noticed that the house before it had the stone walls had a white picket fence, but we were worried that it wouldn't fit in as well with the fences in the back with the horses. So our thought was that what we would do, we would use the exact same fencing and we would put the no climb fence so the dogs can get through it. And on the Route 169, we love rhododendrons, native rhododendrons. We love azaleas. We love holly trees. So we would plant those in front of the fence, and in 3-4 years, you wouldn't even be able to see the fence. Now, I know in some of these historic houses, sometimes they have the chicken coop or the goat yard very close to the house too. So to me, it wasn't entirely incongruous with the farm nature, but I'm not on the commission, you guys are. So we did our best to make everything fit in, and also my husband is one for symmetry all the time. So having 14 different kind of fences would really make him not be able to sleep well at night.
I like him already.
Yeah. He's very meticulous, especially about this stuff. So, we're gonna go out there. Probably not all the way to the road, kind of to the middle. We might decide to go further up a little bit. Our thought is that we offset it from the front of the house. There is an out bump out on the house for the dining room, and when they added the bathroom, I guess in the 1900s, like early 1900s. So from that out crop, which is 16 feet. Is it 16 feet? Yeah, it's 16 feet from the front of the house is the like bay of the dining room and the bathroom. So we would start there. We would go out toward Old Hall. We would we wouldn't have a triangle. We would have another piece that is parallel with Old Hall, and then come back along the driveway to the western side of the woodshed, and that should give the dogs sufficient place. Now, initially, we weren't going to do anything with anything else in that area, but then we had the house inspection, and the house inspection said the stuff is not graded properly and water goes toward the foundation and the basement, and the trees are overgrown and their roots are encroaching on the basement also. We don't know exactly how much grading or how much, but we need to remove that vegetation. Obviously, there won't be a lot of grading, but we will need to put a French drain around the house and then slope it back into the property, into the rest of the property, that's at road level. That area of the house also has like an old cistern there, and the door from the woodshed, I would say, is 5 or 6 steps higher than where the lawn is. Right, but it doesn't have steps. It has just an incline. And I'm sorry I didn't have any pictures of that area to attach.
Well, Katrina, the area that you're talking about needing to grade is, it's not the area that's going to be enclosed by the dog run.
No, it is. It's in there. It's behind the bathroom and in front of the woodshed.
Okay.
So it's right there.
All right. And so you're gonna remove the overgrowth.
Right.
And,
There's
and,
There's a tree right on the corner of the house that can be seen from the road. We're gonna remove that tree.
Mhm.
And there are also some overgrown bushes, and we're gonna remove those. And then we're gonna put the fence, and we're gonna plant rhododendrons and hollies and stuff in front of the fence. Like on the stone wall side of the fence.
right.
Okay.
So eventually, and we're not gonna get the, $2.99 rhododendrons that are gonna take 15 years to grow. We'll try to get some medium-sized ones to put there. They have a better chance of surviving anyway.
Hold on, I'm just connecting with Stan, who is having trouble getting in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
All
So
right,
are the
Yep.
French drains going all the way around the house or just on that side of the house?
Just on that side.
Interesting, you're gonna dig down probably 18 inches, 2 feet.
Yeah.
And
And
in a
put
house,
gravel.
yeah, in a house that's been lived in for over 200 years, and probably hasn't had, who knows what kind of excavation it has or it hasn't had, you might find some interesting things coming out of the channel.
Yeah,
Yeah, we might need to do some repointing before we put the gravel in,
I was thinking more about the archaeology, the things that got
Oh,
through and ended up in the back, in the backyard and ground into the ground, and over time just got covered in dirt. Well, there's nobody ever done any,
Oh.
I don't know what kind of work has been done around the perimeter of the house and in the yard, but nobody's done any archaeology there at the house. So
Right.
it'd be, you might, as your channels are getting dug, you might stick around and cast an eye in. Who knows what you're gonna pull up out of there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's see. So does that cover all the main items that you right now? I think
Yep.
that covers everything. All right. So my
Yep.
question, I had a question about the sheds. You said 4 sheds. Are they all going to be the same size or are they 2 different sizes?
We were thinking that the ones that are behind Roseland's cottage might be larger. But
Okay.
I'll have to ask my husband whether he could live with that. But, if they're larger, they're larger by 4 feet.
Right.
Right.
So the maximum size then you're proposing is 16 by 10, but they might be smaller
Well,
than that.
Yeah, they might be 12 by 12.
Right. Okay. 16.
Right. So 16 by 12 or 12 by 12.
All right. 16 by 12 or 12 by 12. All right.
And we might have them built right on the property, we're looking. I think there's somebody in Woodstock that actually builds horse sheds, that they do it on the
Mhm.
property, and we might be talking, I think we talked to them about building at least the 2 behind Roseland Cottage if we bring the other 2 with us.
So at the minimum, you're going to have to build. At the minimum, you're
4.
bringing, you're going, at the maximum, you're building 4, but you're going to try and bring 2.
2, correct.
Right.
The 2 that are in the picture and that are gray.
Right.
And just to make sure that we understand, the way I understand that, those you're not building them, you're having them built on site. They're still temporary buildings.
Correct. They are still temporary buildings. They sit on 6 by 6s. you know. And sometime you put a little bit of gravel under the 6x6s so they can be, you know,
Sure,
they
yep.
can fit the right way and that water doesn't start pushing them away.
The intent that I know some places that do these sheds that move them periodically, or is your intent that they'll stay in place for a number of years?
Correct. It's, they're not like the chicken or the pig ones that you move so you can clean the stuff under it. You have to muck the sheds without moving them,
Right.
and we do that.
And the roofs are what?
The roofs are shingles, you know, asphalt shingles right now.
And then that they would stay asphalt shingles, or if you had them built, they would also be asphalt shingles?
Correct.
Okay. So, we'll have to, Earl will have to put in the description, the construction. It's Borden. Well, let's see, one of them's Borden Batten. What kind of siding? What's
Yeah,
the,
they're all board and batten.
okay,
You know, the ones that we have at home, we got them from the Amish. They brought them on a truck. So they're all wooden, board and batten, you know, standard. They look just like the other one before we painted them.
right.
Okay,
They're board and batten with an arched opening on one of the longer sides.
with asphalt roof.
Yeah.
Okay,
They might want a smaller opening. It's colder up here than in Virginia.
Well, but then the horses can't get in. That's the problem. What they sometimes do in the winter is they put those things that you put in car washes so they can go in.
Horses, right?
Yeah. But these
Yeah.
guys grow a lot of fur, and you know, my thought is that horses survived going between Moscow and St. Petersburg every winter. So they kind of know how to get used to the cold.
Yeah, I think the local ones might have it easier.
Yeah.
Yes, your Virginia horses might not be quite as used to our weather.
Gets chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you, Commission, I'm quickly zipping through the descriptions again. Commission members, it's, you know, go ahead and ask any questions that you have.
I don't have any further questions.
I don't either.
Oh, okay. Jeremy?
Katrina, welcome to Woodstock. Your application again was very well put together and detailed. The pictures helped a lot. It sounds like you guys have been meticulous in your plan, and it's appreciated.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Anything we can
Yes,
do to
thank
help you guys make your decision.
Okay, so 4-rail fence. And you're gonna also, and just so I'm clear, and so Earl is, because he's our secretary, he's getting the details down. The dog fence, the fenced area for the dogs is going to have, what do you call it? A no climb fence installed on the interior?
Yep. Yes.
And because the material, the color for that fence is integral to the materials as opposed to painted, that no climb fence is metal.
Yes, the no
Okay.
climb fence is metal, and the fences are going to be painted, and they're going to be painted that black color.
Right, but the no climb fence is coated fencing. right?
It'll be galvanized metal, I'm sure, Gil.
That's what it is. It's galvanized metal.
Galvanized metal, all right.
It's very transparent. You almost can't tell that it's there. I think the picture that we gave you looked a little darker than it normally does.
Right, that's what gave me the thought that perhaps that was a vinyl coating on that particular.
That one, yeah, that one may have it. But we were just gonna do the regular galvanized metal one.
Regular galvanized metal. Okay, so
It didn't have
Earl,
mine in the early 1900s anyway.
yeah, go ahead and Earl, note that as galvanized metal for the no climb fence.
That's on the inside of the other fence though, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
For the
Correct.
dog, for the
For the
dog.
dog. Otherwise, the fencing around the dog area will be the same as the other fences?
Correct.
Okay.
And that also with round posts, correct, Katrina?
Round posts, 8 foot on center, if that matters. The railings are 16 foot, so the posts are gonna be one at each end and one in the middle.
Okay.
And did you tell us the height of that fence?
It's 4'6". And I may have forgotten to put that in.
So I guess these horses are not jumpers. They don't like to jump tall fences.
Well, we actually put an electric line at the top to make sure that they're not jumpers, but to make sure that they don't, what they like to do is they like to eat the grass on the other side of the fence. And
Of course.
because they're 2-ton horses, we've had the Percheron and the Belgian bend gates
Yep.
for us. And since you're asking me for details, these obviously each one of these pastures are going to have gates that are 16-foot metal heavy duty gates on them, like pastures normally do. And they're going to be at least one in each pasture, and ability to go between one or the other, so that middle fence is also going to have a pasture in it. I mean, a gate in it, sorry.
So each of the 4 pastures will have one of these, a 16-foot metal gate.
Gate, correct.
All right, and that's going to be, have you decided yet? Are they going to be on the
Well,
house side? Have you made a decision as to where on the perimeter of the pastures those fences are going to be?
Yeah. We believe that there's going to be one fence towards Old Hall Road, so we can bring in mowing equipment, and there's a break in the stone wall there. So I think that's where right now, I think Jock told me that they have cows in there, and I think that's how they bring the cows in there.
Mhm.
We'll do one right behind the dairy barn. Then there will be one somewhere in between the 2 halves of that pasture. We see another break in the stone wall between the 2 pasture, like closer to the house field. So we were thinking of putting one gate on each side of that. And also putting a gate kind of near the edge of the property where you see the other break in the stone wall there. We might not. And then one more gate between the 2 sides of those 2 pastures. of that pasture that's right behind Roseland Cottage, you know, the one that we're splitting up, so you can get from the first half to the second half.
Okay,
You know,
so
it's
we've-
important to be able to get the horses from one pasture to the other without having to lead them outside the pastures.
that makes perfect sense. So we've got 2 gates connecting the two sets of pastures on either side of the stone wall,
Correct.
correct? Okay, 2
Yeah.
pastures, each, let's see, okay. So that's 2 gates.
Yep.
And then one exterior gate for each of the pastures?
Actually, the north pasture would have 2 exterior gates and the south pasture would have 1 exterior gate.
Okay, but the other,
And then there are 2 more gates between the 2 halves of the pastures.
okay. So let's just take the south set of pastures.
Okay,
That's farthest from the house, the ones behind
Yeah.
Roseland.
right.
So there's 2 there. So will each pasture have its own entrance, its own gate, and then you've got a gate connecting the 2?
No, you would have a gate to the north pasture
Yeah,
from the house lot, let's say.
yeah,
Then you would have, I mean, to the north of that south pasture.
correct.
Then you would have another gate to the north pasture right near there, because that's where you can go from one to the other.
Hmm.
And then you would have another gate between the 2 halves over there.
So each set of 2 has a total of 3 gates. Each set of 2 pastures has a total of 3 gates.
Well, the north pasture is slightly different because we would want another gate to Old Hull Road.
Okay. All right. So,
Right.
all right. So that one's,
So
good. All right,
the
so
south pasture would have 3 gates and the north pasture would have 4 gates.
okay, the south pasture, 3 gates. Got that, Earl? And the north pasture, 4 gates. And these are going to be your standard farm, 16 feet wide metal gates.
Yep, heavy duty metal gates,
Okay,
so the horses don't bend them.
bend them down, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And we will be putting a very thin electric fence on top of the pasture to keep them on their side. That is like almost invisible
Right.
from like 5 feet away. You can't really see that it's there.
Right. Oh, here comes Stan. Hey, hey.
Stan missed all the fun.
He did. I don't know where he is yet, but there he is. Stan. Oh, he's still connecting. All right. No electric fence on top of the dog run, I'm assuming.
No,
Right. And any exterior gate on the dog enclosure?
we might put one towards the driveway.
Maybe a gate. And what kind of gate could that potentially be?
That would be the same kind of heavy duty pasture gate. But it would only be 6 feet wide. 4 foot wide, is it?
Well, it has to be 5 feet from the mower to get in.
Oh, it's at least 5 feet, 5 or 6 feet wide.
Right. Okay. And that'll be on the Old Hall Road side.
Yeah, it will be the driveway that's on the old Hole Road side. I don't even know that you'd be able to see it from the road because that little building would in fact stop you from seeing it from the road.
Right, right,
I saw that.
all right. Other questions, people?
I finally got here.
Thanks, thanks for continuing to try, Stan. Stan,
Downloaded again.
okay, what, Katrina, kind of gone through the whole description of the project, giving us a little more detail about the placement of the fences, the materials, the and gates that will be there, plus a little information on grading that they're going to have to do on the Old Hall Road on that corner of the McClellan House. Having looked at the plans and all, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I looked at him a couple days ago and I read the letter that Katrina sent, so pretty much familiar with it.
Okay. Commission members, any further questions for Katrina?
Nope.
No,
No.
no. Toby, no. Stan, no.
Nope.
Nope. Earl, you all set? Oh, did we lose him? Yeah. I can't hear you, Earl.
He may be on mute.
Okay. Because I can't, yeah, when I'm sharing my screen, I can't see necessarily. I'm gonna, let's see. One of you can, the one of you who might, oh yeah, he is on mute. Asked to unmute. Whoever, let's see, do we, for our discussion, commission members, do you want me to still continue to share the screen and leave the map and images up?
No, it sounds like it's just causing some problems with your ability to view everybody.
I can see everybody. I've just got everybody smaller rather than larger so that for me, I've got everything. All right, so we're good. All right, then I'm going to stop the share. We can always pull it back if we need to. All right, so we're good. All right, any final questions for Katrina? And again, thank you, Katrina, and David for such a really thoroughly informative application. It's the kind of thing we like to get. Helps us really understand what a project entails. And it's the kind of thing that if you've been coming in even just for a project consultation would be hugely helpful as well. It's the
Right.
easiest way to do our best job of work with you.
Thank you. And this one was a little bit rushed because we're trying to get those fences in before the winter, but most of the time we would have time to come in for a project consultation and discuss with you your concerns and then make the formal application.
Right, understood. And we appreciate the time sensitive nature of this. Let's see. So any last call for questions, commission members? All right, if not, then I'll look for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
All right, Toby, I need a second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Stan. All in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hand, Earl. Very good. Thank you. Good. All right. Public hearing is closed. So Katrina, we will now discuss it. You hang tight. And comments, commission members.
I'm good. I
Yeah.
would move to approve.
Sounds like an awesome project. It's only going to make the property awesome.
Yeah, based on what I seen of the plans and read, I'm in favor of it.
I think that the designs, even though those pastures haven't been fenced recently, and the fencing is in keeping with the historic nature of the farms. The designs are going to be minimally impactive. And even the dog run at the side, I think, is going to basically disappear from view, especially with the plantings that are going up. So I think I agree. I think it'll be nice. And it's also very thoughtful in terms of containing the horses, because it is a dangerous intersection, and it seems like a lot of thought has been given to making sure that the horses are safe and are going to be safe. So that's good as well. All right, so Toby, you made a motion to approve as presented.
Yes.
All right. Looking for a second.
One second.
All right, Jeremy second. And we will, when we approve, we will approve with a stipulation. This is approved. And the stipulation is obviously that the sale completes for the property. That's kind of just the standard tiny little caveat we put in there, but based that it's approved pending the Dawson's formal acquisition of the property.
Thank you. We wouldn't think about building it before we had the property, but legally it should be approved that way.
It's just-
You know, that does raise a question, because when my family sold a farmhouse some time back, the owner was bringing in horses and worked out an agreement to install the fencing before the sale was completed, in order to be able to get it done in time to bring the horses. So we wouldn't want to put an obstacle in the place of
However-
such an arrangement if it proved to be necessary.
Yeah. Well, then they could come back, but what we also don't want to, their intent is not to begin the project till they have, and they wouldn't want to spend the money on a project until they have officially acquired the property, because life has a way of throwing curveballs. So this protects everybody on both sides. And if something was, they could always, there could always be an emergency request from us for something, but it's just a little protection.
I just ask whether it's necessary to have such a stipulation if the buyer and seller wish to make an agreement and the fencing gets put up. We wouldn't have an opposition to that, right?
Right. But
so it doesn't seem necessary to have that stipulation. That's the only thing that occurs.
The reason I thought about it is because we could just approve it and they potentially could start building or doing what they want because they have approval from us. But then if, not wishing to jinx anything, but if it fell through, then, it could get complicated. This way, it's approved for the property that they're going to acquire. Because it's unusual to be approving a project before the person, approve the project for somebody who doesn't yet officially own the property.
I understand. It's the horse thing.
Right.
Yes.
I appreciate the help, Toby, but the stipulation really is not going to be an impediment to us. We wouldn't start before we own the property anyway.
Okay.
And it gives you guys peace of mind, and I'm fine with it.
All right. As long as it's good with you, that's the main thing.
And it's the workaround for us for approving a project for somebody who doesn't yet own the property. It could get
Gail, I mean,
sticky
I
down.
understand what you're saying, but there's no way that they can start the project until they own it. So that's, it's kind of a, I get what you're saying there, Toby. And if they run into a problem that they don't close for 2 more weeks, say they close on the 15th, but they really need that project to begin on the 1st and they have an agreement, I think it's kind of out of our purview by then, but is the homeowner's good with it, then it's,
All right, well, then we'll go without the stipulation. Well, and we'll go without the stipulation. With the and I'll make the statement that no decision we ever make sets any kind of precedent for another project or another property. That I think then, because we're discussing it, that backs us out of somebody saying to us down the road who start, on the odd chance, people do strange things, on the odd chance that somebody starts something somewhere, this covers us. Nothing sets any precedents. So I'm good with that. So we're back to
Sure.
approving the application as presented. And we've had a second, and all in favor?
Aye.
It's a unanimous decision. So Katrina, it is approved. I will fill it out and drop it off. Let's see, where do I have to drop it? Nowhere. I'll fill it off and I will take a photograph of the first page and email it to you.
Okay, you might need to drop it with a zoning group because I now have to apply for a zoning permit for the sheds.
All right, so I'll do that. That's the building official. It kind of goes through.
The land use.
I'm not quite sure who gets it. I'll find out tomorrow who needs to get it, and then I can email them a copy. But I will get, so because you're doing that next application, I'll get that to you.
Great, and I can put it in my application too, and then
Right.
they'll be fine.
He said, great, it'll be fun to have horses up here, up on the
Yeah.
hill again, so.
We look forward to welcoming you in physically to Woodstock in the near future.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Now, do you guys prefer I drop off or,
If you want to stay on for pretty much the rest of the boring meeting, you're welcome to. It's totally up to you.
I used to be part of a Board of Education meeting, so this is very similar and it sounds familiar, but I think I will let you guys do the boring meeting, and after I come back, maybe at the next one, I'll stay for the whole meeting.
Sounds good.
Yes, if you stay
very
too much longer, we may recruit you.
Yes, yes.
That would not be the end of the world.
I'll keep
Katrina,
that in
David,
mind. Yes,
before you log off, again, just welcome to Woodstock. You guys have a huge undertaking with this project. That's certainly not lost on any of us, and we wish you the best.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And we look forward to working with you and being in Woodstock.
great. I work right next door at Roseland Cottage, so I look forward to meeting you in person.
Wonderful. And I work from home, so you can come in for a cup of coffee anytime.
That sounds like a plan. Like, let me go out and meet those horses.
Absolutely. They love carrots. They love carrots.
Good to know.
Right.
Good. All right. Thanks very much, Katrina.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Review of minutes. Everybody had a chance to read Earl's minutes. Thank you very much, Earl. Gail, hold it up higher. Please call cell phone. Okay. Must be he's lost his audio again. Hold the phone. Hold on. 862 822 93.
Hello.
Is that Earl?
That's me.
Good. Okay. So you can hear? Good. All right. Review of, so let's see, looking for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Also move.
Is there a second?
I'll
That was-
second.
Okay, Jeremy seconded, Stan made the motion. Is there any discussion?
No,
None, seeing none. All in favor? Aye.
I,
Okay, unanimous, Earl. All right. Correspondence. Yes, I heard from the Economic Development Commission of their interest in the information kiosk. And I heard from Mary Dunn about the information kiosk today. So let's see, I guess let me go to that. And she said, she sent me, let's see, hold on just a second, let me go to that. She said she'd found 2 grant-funded similar projects, a 2016 grant to the Norwich Historical Society and the town of, and another one to the town of New Milford. They aren't information kiosks per se, but they do give you an idea of what we fund that involves physical displays that teach visitors about local historic resources. And so she sent me copies of both approved grants. I just had a chance to skim them, but included in those grants are the either purchase or construction and creation of signs and the installation of signage and kiosks, information dispensers of, and creation of brochures, etc. So what I'll do is send both of those proposals to you to review as well. And I'll also connect back with all the different people that are now interested in this potentially coming together. And that's the Woodstock Historical Society, the individuals who are looking to commemorate John Eliot, and now the Economic Development Commission, and see if we can group everybody together to investigate this project a little further and see what the possibilities actually are. And that was the extent of my correspondence. No public comment, no project consultations. The old business was the marker update, which you've just gotten. The other piece has to do with the John Eliot marker, and it now appears, and I'll be sending that in. I've had a chance finally to really compile that information. I'll be sending that out shortly this week to you. Is that both Daniel Gookin, who chronicled the movements of John Eliot, talked about when Eliot came to Woodstock, he conducted the service at the village, and the village, I've finally found the archaeology of the South Woodstock site. So the village definitely was located in South Woodstock. So that pretty much eliminates what has been called since the 1870s Eliot Rock from actually being the site where John Eliot preached. The other piece of old business is the continuing need for new members. Keep thinking outside the box of people that might be good additions to our group. We need let's see, we need one more regular member and one alternate member. And I have
is Patrick off now or what?
I sent him an email and I haven't heard back inquiring about his schedule. It's possible he's been rotated into a a schedule that doesn't allow him to attend these meetings. So I'm hoping to hear from him as to what goes on. There's a rule that said if you miss X number of 2 or 3 meetings in a row, you, without reason, or without letting us know, then you rotate off. But I think it's only polite to give a person, especially with his busy schedule, that gets switched around frequently, give him a chance to, give us a chance to accommodate what he needs. So again, think about new members. I haven't taken any action up to this point, but I have the new fellow whose application we approved that lives in the old Monahan house. He would be good. And also David Stone, who lives on Child Hill Road, on the Academy side of Child Hill Road. And he's come before us for a couple of applications, and expressed a lot of interest in the district. So those are 2 options. Other than that, I have no new business. Does anybody have any new business? Nope. All right. Toby. Nope. Okay. And thank you all. Especially for the new guys, though. So I think that's your first public hearing, isn't it, Toby and Jeremy?
Possibly.
No, we had the Grange.
Right. So,
Oh, yes.
yes, that's right. So that's your second. It's been unusually quiet. So knock on wood, it'll probably change quickly, but it's been a quiet summer, quieter than normal. But I thank you all for reading through all the material and for your efforts with the public hearing. And I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Stan's moved, Earl is seconding. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All approved. All right, and with that,
I was late, guys. I'll try to be on time next time.
let's run next time, Stan. Thank you all for attending tonight, and I'll see you in November.
Okay.
Thanks. Good night.
Oh, no,
Night.
I'm sorry, the end of October. The end of October.
All right.
All right, take care. Good night.
Good night.
Night, Earl.